Welcome to Rooted and Rising, the podcast for busy, faith-filled moms who are juggling family, business, and life while trying to stay grounded in Yahweh's truth. I'm Crystal, and each episode is a short, soul-fueling time of encouragement, like coffee with a good friend. Together, we'll draw strength from Scripture, find hope for our busy, often chaotic or overwhelming days, and rise up stronger in faith, family, and purpose. This is your space to pause, breathe, and be reminded that when your roots run deep in Him, you can rise up to and through whatever the day holds. Good morning, friends. I am so glad you're here with me today. This is the very first episode of the podcast, and I'll be honest, it's been such an event to get to this point. But really, I just want to give a quick word for you before your day gets busy and it pulls you in 100 different directions. I want to take a few quiet moments together, just you, me, and Yahweh. I want you to think of this like having coffee with a good friend who just wants to remind you of truth, the person you go to in a time of chaos and overwhelm that can love you where you're at, who gets your mess, and you don't have to pretend for it. You don't have to wear a mask with them. That's what this space is for you. This is our time to breathe, reset, and step into today, whatever you're facing, with His strength. So today's verse comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Yeshua, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim. What a picture that is. Just take a moment to meditate on that. And I know for sure that life can certainly feel like a race. And it's not a sprint, but a steady, faithful run. And the goal is definitely keeping our eyes fixed on the Almighty. Otherwise, it's so easy to feel the weight of each step that doesn't seem like the end is getting any closer. It feels hard and heavy. And you may be wondering, how can I get to the end of this? Is there an end? And what is that going to be? Am I going to do this well enough? How can I do this? This is the verse I wanted to kick off the podcast with, these little nuggets of your daily life, because this was born out of moments like that where I was struggling with my own race. And I've had the privilege to listen to so many beautiful souls around me in private conversations, hearing their hearts, seeing these beautiful people on the other side of me, feeling so many things that were similar to my own journey and similar with each other. And I realized that the enemy does such a good job of convincing us that we're alone in our messes, we're alone in our struggles and even our races. And that's such a lie. He wants to keep us isolated and covering our shame, what makes us feel shame, whatever that may be. He does such a good job of convincing us that there's something wrong with us for struggling, for feeling the way we feel, for having the challenges that we have. And what has been so painfully ironic that I can laugh at, we're all so similar. We are all thinking and feeling the same thing, struggling with our self-worth, our value. Is it good enough? And so many other things. And just even if we've busted through that, there can just be real, literal, physical weights that we feel on us that make it feel heavy, that feel burdened. And it's hard. And this world is ever changing. And I understand so much what it likes to feel alone in it, to feel lost. to desperately want someone to talk to hold my hand, to have a cup of coffee or tea with a good friend, a safe place who can just hear my heart and love me as I am, that I don't have to put on my makeup or look a certain way or talk or dress a certain way, that I can just show up in all my mess with my heart and plop it right there on the table and go, all right, let's just have some coffee. Let's just sit here for a moment and breathe and redirect, refocus, and get refreshed on this. And this came out of my own desire, my own need, the need I saw for so many others, and also just a desire to reach out to you and to those like you. I don't hear a lot of the things that need to be said in the world we are living in right now. Some of it is filled with toxic positivity, and others can flip the opposite way and be very disparaging and discouraging and almost feel like you're bringing on even more of a burden, making it even harder in different ways, or blaming and having a victim mindset. And I haven't really found anything that has truly been nourishing or uplifting for me. So I wanted to create it as much for myself, but for everyone else. I knew if I was needing this, and surely you and so many like you needed it too, desired for a little bit of connection, a little bit of community in a day, even if we don't know each other personally, to hear someone else say, yeah, I get it. I'm going through this or I'm going through that. To know, to feel for a moment that you're not alone, because you aren't. So I am so grateful for this, and I can assure you none of this will be perfect. I come to you with my messes and my reality that is so far from perfect, but it is filled with love. And I hope we can be this for each other, this beautiful space in the midst of chaos, in the midst of our days. Come together for coffee or tea and really just breathe, holding space for one another. So I want you to think about this. Take a few moments, just take some deep breaths in and out. And going back to that scripture and thinking about your race in this life, your race as a follower and believer, the race you are called and equipped to run. If you're anything like me, some days don't feel like a race, at least not the kind I want to run, that's for sure. They feel more like stumbling through the day, juggling with kids' responsibilities, meals, homeschool, work responsibilities, laundry, maybe even all the business tasks on top of that. It can feel so crazy, chaotic, messy, and just completely exhausting. And sometimes there are relationships in there that are extremely painful too, on top of everything else. This scripture gives us hope. It reminds us that we're not just spinning in circles or running aimlessly. Yahweh himself has marked out the course before us. He knows exactly where you're going, and Yeshua has already run the path ahead. So I want you to think about a runner in a marathon. Have you ever noticed how they keep their eyes locked on the finish line? They aren't looking at the people in the stands or checking their Instagrams or anything like that. They don't waste energy glancing behind them to see who's catching up to them. They stay focused forward, step after step, keeping their eyes on the goal. And that's exactly how we're called to run our race in this life. Not by looking sideways at what everyone else is doing or what they're not doing, and not by comparing ourselves or getting tangled in the distractions of life, because there are many, but by keeping our eyes locked on Yeshua, by keeping our eyes locked on what really matters, the only one who's going to get us through the storms in life, who's going to calm the storms in our lives. It's that, not all the other distractions that keep us unfocused, distracted, and add more overwhelm to us. So here's the beautiful truth. You do not have to run this race in your own strength. The same God, the same Yeshua who marked out your path is running right beside you. It is so easy to feel alone. I know, I get it. I get it so much, but you aren't. When you feel overwhelmed today, when the kids are loud, the deadlines are piling up, the bills are piling up, and you know there isn't enough money, and the math does not add up where you can cover that, or your heart just feels tired, just pause. Take one deep breath. Close your eyes for a moment and whisper, "My eyes are fixed on you, Yahweh." Reconnect, realign. That simple prayer, that simple commitment, that single act realigns your heart and keeps your eyes fixed on Him. It's like a compass pointing north again. It cuts through the noise, the stress, the lies of the enemy, the comparisons, and brings you back to truth. You are not alone. You are not running blind in this race, even though it may feel like it. You aren't. You're only running blind when you're looking at all the other things around you. Keep your eyes fixed on Him. You are running with Yeshua, the Almighty, our Elohim. So I'd like to offer this blessing before we close, before you step into your day. I pray that Yahweh will strengthen your heart and steady your steps. May He remind you that you are not running alone. May His peace fill every corner of your home, every task on your list, and every single conversation you have, especially the one that you have with yourself today. Here's your action step for today. Every time you feel scattered or stretched thin, pause and say, "Eyes on Yeshua, eyes on Elohim." That's your anchor. That's your reminder. All right, friend. I pray that you go run your race today with joy, with endurance, with your eyes fixed on Him. I'm cheering you on, my friend. You are so beautiful, so lovely, and I'm so excited for you. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me here on Rooted and Rising. I hope today's encouragement helps you walk forward with renewed strength and focus on Yahweh. If this blessed you, share it with a friend who needs a little light today. Until next time, remember, stay rooted in Him and you'll rise up strong every day.